All right, looks like we're getting set up here. Good evening, welcome. Something's wrong with the countdown clock, but I don't know what's going on. So we'll get that squared away in just a second. But we're live. Welcome to episode 260. Good evening to all of you. Dawn checks in first over on YouTube. Good evening. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitter, live on Facebook. Lynn is joining us. Terry's here. Lee is here. Keith says hello from Keith and Alice. Good evening to you. I should probably listen to what you guys can hear. Does that sound? Yeah, that sounds better. I was like, what's going on? Let's see if I can do this a little bit. There we go. Is that a little better? Hopefully we're good. Lee says, hey, Dr. Dag. Woohoo! Wouldn't that be nice? Anna checks in. So hey, here's the deal. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitter. We're just gonna kind of hang out for about 10 minutes or so, and then after we're done hanging out, what we'll do is we'll switch to the recording of episode 260. You get to watch that. After the end of the recording, we'll hang out again as well. So that's what's going on. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Do I have green on? I'm not sure if I have any green. I must have forgotten to wear green. So, oops, my glasses are green. Woo! There we go. Thank goodness for the glasses. Saved the day. Dina, it had to go. I tell you, it had to go. Let me see here. I got one quick issue with the computer. As always, it seems like I get everything squared away, and then something always chimes in with an issue, and tonight it's the computer. So let me figure out what's going on with that. Give me just 1 minute there. Internet, network. So yeah, we're connected. So, all right. So I don't know. It says everything's connected, but who knows? Anyway, so cool. All right. Jane says hi. I'm here. Jan says hi. I have green. My glasses are green. So we're good there. I kind of hear a little bit of a hum in my headset. Hopefully you guys don't hear that. I think does that take care of it a little bit? Hopefully the volume is still okay. So I don't know what's going on with the internet. So if this show doesn't come across, then it'll be recorded live. It'll be in the app in the morning. But I see some issues on my end saying that maybe the stream isn't going out. So I don't have a clue as to how to fix that at this point. We're going to roll with the show. So awesome. So Tamberly, good evening to you. Thank you. She says my favorite podcast ever. Very nice. Appreciate that for sure. Let me see if I can get everything else squared away here. Handy dandy recorder is recording. There we go. That looks good there. So all right, we're good. Lee says he has green on everywhere for everybody, so that's good. And Amy says, great to catch a live show. Woohoo! Very nice. Corinne is here. Very cool. Maria says it's fine. Yeah, see, I get, let me see if I can close one more thing here. Because I get a couple streaming errors on my end. Diane says, no problem hearing you. Good. All right, so good. Hopefully you guys can all hear good. That sounds good. West of Ann Arbor, living my lifetime. Joyce is here. Good evening to you. All right. Dawn says, don't hear a hum. So that's good. All right. I can never tell what you guys can hear and what I can hear. But I have the ability to mute on occasion, so that's good. So if you guys remember, David says you're streaming fine. Hear you loud and clear. Hello from New York. We'll be in New York on Saturday. Coming in actually on Saturday, and then Sunday will be the walk. So email, I promised you an email is coming out tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. I'll get an email out to you. For those of you who registered on FatDag.com, you will get an email as to what the plan is while we're in New York City next week, in for the weekend. So very, very, very fun. Julie's here. Cindy is here. Woohoo! Watching on Facebook. Good evening, Cindy. Let's see. Diane says, sounds good so far. Tag streaking would be an error. It would be an error. Fort Worth checks in. Lene, good evening to you. Corinne says, look and sound fantastic. Woohoo! And hi, Jamie, says Amy. Very nice. I missed all the way at the very beginning. I'm scrolling all the way back. Karen checked in first from sunny Surf City, California. Becky's here. The countdown timer wasn't exactly working, so I'm not sure what was that. What was up with that? So I'll fix that. I'll fix that later. But I noticed that just as it started. So whatever. Terry, good evening to you. I saw you check in. Linda is here. Lori, I got you. Garrett, Let's see who else. I think that's the most of you. So cool. If I missed you, then just pop back in again. Jane says, I'm so jealous of New York Central Park. You lucky bummers. That is kind of the game plan, is that we're going to hang out in Central Park for a little bit and we'll kind of walk around the city. Nothing elaborate planned. It's going to be kind of just us hanging out. So it should be kind of fun. Bloomington checks in. Janice, good evening to you over on YouTube. Very nice. Hello from Arkansas. Jennifer checks in. Angie, I love it. Angie says he's not wearing green because it's not about good luck. It's about good focus. And then I have my Jan, if you're listening and watching, I have my Be the Change t-shirt on today that you gave me. So that is the game plan there. Be the change. All right, special sneak peek. I put a tweet out the other day on upcoming studio. Listen, I'm going to need your help here. Big. Did I say big? Big deal. Twitter's working, Georgine. I see. I'm watching on Twitter, I'm watching on YouTube, and I'm watching on Facebook. So I see Twitter working. The Twitter account is the WhysAdvice account, not the FatDag account. So keep up that. Anyway, so here's I need your help. Truly do. And so here's what's going to happen. Big news. Studio design. I should get some of the images actually to share with you tomorrow, is the hope. And one of the things that I've worked on is, let me just give you kind of an overview of what my life looks like. And why, I always say I want to do the show every single day, and it doesn't happen every single day. So this week in particular coming up, tomorrow night, work all day, Monday as it is, so I'll be working here. Janine will come home from work, and we'll go get our taxes done around 6. Hopefully we'll be home by 7 or 8. If I can get a show in tomorrow night, perfect. If not, it's because I got home at 8 o'clock at night, and, it's kind of too late. Tuesday, WW Workshop. Wednesday, got a little bit of special activity planned. Thursday, WW Workshop. Friday night, fly to New York City. So this is the only opportunity to get a show in this week is tonight. Now, if, here's where I need your help. The plan is to get this show out of this room here down into its own studio. And so that's where I'm going to need your help by sharing and making that happen. When that dream happens and when the show goes down in the studio, I retire from the Air Force. This is the only thing I plan on doing. I made a resume the other day just for fun, but the reality is I don't want a job. I want to help more people. I want to make sure that, how cool would this be? Here's in my vision in my head, right? How cool would this be is that, 2 or 3 times a day, I have my phone is open, and if you want to call and just check in, you call and check in. Boom, that easy. 2 or 3 times a day, I'm putting the right post in your feed. I'm texting with you, and then I record a show, work on the show, and record a show around, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 7 p.m. How cool would that be? So that's the game plan. All that takes us as a community making it work. I'll give you a lot of those details as they come up. So Lee says you can't live stream from the airplane. I don't think, Lee, every time I fly, I usually get the internet access on the airplane. I can barely check my email on the airplane, let alone do a live stream. So, we'll see. Marie checks in, says, hello all, how are you? Good evening to you. Lene says, FatDag is awesome, and I completely agree. Very fun. Jody's here. Woo, Jody, good evening to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Shoot me a text in the morning. Let me know how you're doing. I'm curious how your Thursday went. I know a lot of folks in the meeting, in the workshop, were asking about you. So my bad, I didn't share the details I had, but I'm interested in the rest of how your last Thursday appointment went, and hope everything else is going well. So very fun. So we have the ability to take a live call into the show if you want. I haven't worked out the logistics of how I want to do that. Here's kind of what I was thinking. Let me know what you guys think on this. My kind of thought was during this pre-show right here, one of you, or as many of you want, text in, and I will call one of you randomly at the end of the show. I don't know if that's a good logistical plan or not, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is I want to work some of these into the show. I've got to figure out how to do it. So that's kind of my game plan. Is that way, in order to join the live show, in order to stick around and be a part of the live show via the phone, you had to have watched the show. So what do you think of that? I think it sounds kind of fun. We'll see. So Anyway, that's the game plan. We'll work on that for sure, because that is certainly, yeah. Nora says we're on one ringy dingy. So let's see if I have that option here quickly. Do I have that ability? I thought I did, but I don't see it in my... Oh, there it is right there. So let me pull this up here real quick. Yeah, so there's some fun. All right, so cool. All right, so yeah, so anyway, that's the game plan. So that's what I was thinking of. Don says it was really good, lost 1.6. Awesome. Talking to Karen over on YouTube. That's what's fun about this, is we make it a community. We certainly do. So anyway, so that's the game plan. So here's the deal. Let's no promises, right? No, because but no promises. But shoot me a text. Go to fatdag.com. The phone number there is 317. What is it? 662-4214, I believe. 317-662-4214. Let me just double check that before you write it down, because I don't want you texting random people. It's the phone number at the top of the FatDag website. So 317-662-4214. That is the correct number. Shoot a text to that number if you want to call in tonight's show. 317-662-4214. Text in something, say, hey, I want to be on the live show tonight. And as the show winds down, I will call you. How's that? So that's the game plan there. So let me get that phone plugged in, because if we don't get the phone plugged in, nothing else matters. Whew. And that one is this one here. So cool. All right, game plan there. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? And then after the show, we'll see what happens with that. So this episode here, quite a bit. The first email comes in from Anonymous. I'll keep that. And then the next one, Donna R. And then Susan out of Bakersfield, California. 3 great emails for the show tonight. I'm excited to share them with you. Helen says, did you talk about the meeting in New York City yet? Hope you get in there. The New York City meetup, Sunday morning. I'm thinking 9 o'clock. I think 8. I would love to do 8, but I think 9 makes a little more sense. 9 o'clock till about probably noonish is kind of the game plan. I know some of you can't get there till noon. I will, same thing as before. The phone number that's on the FatDag website, that phone comes to me through 317-662-4214. If you're in New York City and you get lost, you can't find the group, text me, say, hey, I'm lost, and I will answer that text and let you know where we're at. My flight doesn't leave until 7 p.m. Sunday afternoon, so Sunday evening. So I will be in the New York City area. So if you don't make it to New York City till noon, that's okay. Text, find out where we're at. We're probably still hanging out somewhere. Kathy says 8's too early. 9 would be great, says Denise. So let's go ahead and solidify that as 9 o'clock. It makes a little more sense to meet at 9. We'll meet in Central Park. I will get you an exact location soon. I know Central Park is not, it's not like a park in Indiana where I can just say, meet at this park, and you would figure it out. Central Park's big. So we'll find an area in Central Park to meet up at. So very cool. I'm interested in doing that. I can't wait. Special treat for those of you who are, you guys ask me this all the time. All the time you ask me this, and this one's the cool. If you're in New York and you're able to make it on this trip, special treat for you. Janine and Megan are joining me on this trip. So you will get to meet them in person, real life. They're awesome. So you will see them. Yeah, Lene says Central Park's a city. So yeah, you will see that my wife and daughter are both joining me on this trip. So if you're in New York City, you get to meet the both of them as well. To me, that's the most favorite part, because when I come out and travel, I love meeting you guys. I really do. It's the highlight of. It's what fuels me to keep this thing going, is seeing you guys in person and wrapping my arms around you and say, hey, or a fist bump or whatever it is that you preference. That's my favorite part. But the piece that the sacrifice that comes that is every weekend when I fly out on a Friday and back in on Sunday, it's a weekend that I don't spend with my family. So the fact that this weekend we get to all go to New York City together is super duper exciting. I can't wait. Megan has never been to New York City. Janine, I don't know if she's been or not, but I don't think she's been as an adult for sure. So anyway, so that'll be kind of fun. So anyway, we're 15 minutes into this thing, and all I've done is ramble. So Kathy says, I think I can make 9. Very nice. I'm going to try it. Very fun, very fun. And then Nancy says, when are you coming to St. Louis? You know, St. Louis, I'm working on Phoenix next. Phoenix, and then I'm going to I may try and get to St. Louis first. We'll see if I can do that or not. So we'll see. But the best way really is to go to fatdag.com, click on the international tour link, sign up for the email. I get a couple email from you guys, and trust me, I get this, right? I know your schedules are just as crazy as mine. And I had someone today say, well, you know, because the details of New York City aren't released yet, I can't make it. I get that. You know, all along, I've said that it would be on Sunday the 24th. So, you know, and I get you can't block out the whole day, all that good stuff. But the reality is, until I solidify the plans, I can't really share them with a whole bunch of people. But anyway, that's where we're at. So, all right, let's get episode 260 done. I'm excited to do that. Let's get some water ready. I think we have some Sergeant water here. This is, let's see, it looks like very, very yummy. It's fresh from the hills of Carmel, Indiana. Sergeant water. Let's go ahead and cheers. Oh, there, look at that. Whew, that's so good. So good. Man. Woo. Jenny says, Mike, kind sir, let me help you. Jenny has offered to take over the international tour and be the tour manager. And and the thing she doesn't realize, Jenny, I love you. The thing she doesn't realize is at this stage in the game, it is, and I'm going to give that all to her, but at this stage of the game, it's harder for me to collect all my thoughts and get them out than it is for me to just kind of piecemeal it out. So we've got to figure out a way to work together, and I got to shoot you some of this information. Starting with the next event, I will have someone who manages this whole tour thing for me, and that will be you, Jenny. We talked about that. So, yep. Woo. So, guys, from now on, don't ask me. Ask Jenny. Say, Jenny, what is Mike doing? And maybe she'll know it, but I guarantee you she'll be like, I don't know, because he doesn't talk to me. So, strange little world we're building here. It's confusing as all get up. So anyway, so here we are. We're Sunday night, St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully your week is going well. Let's do episode 260, shall we? Are you ready? I'm ready. Debbie, thank you. Debbie is great. Absolutely fantastic at listening and taking direction. Debbie now just asked Jenny, hey, when's St. Louis? Exactly. Don't ask me. Ask Jenny. If Jenny doesn't know, then it's her fault. But the plan is, right, here's the master plan. I want to come to, I plan on all these cities. I'm going to get to all of them this year, I promise you. But I got to work it into the calendar. I can assure you the retirement part of this job from the Air Force is way more difficult than I ever imagined. The amount of things that I'm doing to get ready for retirement is so overwhelming. It's mind-boggling how much work you have to do to kind of get ready to leave the military. So that's consuming a lot of my life right now. So anyway, so weekends and all that stuff. So once I retire in August, actually June, then boom, things change dramatically for all of us. So very fun. Very fun. There we go. So Jenny's already answering the questions, you know, as to when the next show is. All right, episode 260. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. I need some glasses, maybe. I don't know if I need these or not. Marie says, so excited for you guys. Going to be in New York. Yep, I'm excited for New York, too. Recording the episode officially now. Volume check, mic check, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. All right, looks like the volume is recording good. So, are we recording track 2? Yep, track 2 is recording. So, very good. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Track 2. All right, cool. So, we're recording. Julie, thank you for that. Linnea says, I get it. My sons are still in and out of the military. Yeah, it's so interesting. The amount of work to retire is just mind-boggling. And I haven't done half the things I'm supposed to do. I'm way behind on even retiring. What I really should email and ask them if I could stay one more year and then plan my retirement around that, but not going to happen, I promise you. All right. Are you ready? Jenny's already working this. I love it. I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 260 of WhysAdvice. This episode goes out just before we head out to New York City. The international tour rolls on into New York City, coming up in about 6 days. Super duper excited. The email's coming out to you. If you're on the tour list at fatdag.com, you will get an email shortly as to what the details are for the New York City event. After that, it looks like we're trying to roll into Phoenix. And then that's April. May will be in Tulsa. June, we're looking at Toronto, also Indianapolis, and then in July 4th up in North Conway. So get on to fatdag.com, click on the international tour link, get in there, get your name on the email list for the tour specifically, and you'll be the first one to know when I know what's going on. Those of you in New York, I know you're waiting for details. They are coming soon, I promise you. So continue always. Thank you for tuning in. You can download the WhysAdvice app out of your app store. It's in your Apple App Store. It's in the Google App Store. WhysAdvice with FatDag. That's the best way to find the show. Certainly, you can listen in iTunes. You can listen wherever podcasts are found, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify. But the app just makes it so much easier and convenient. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for being part of this show. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This first email comes in anonymously, and it says, "Hi, Mike. Almost 4 years ago now, I went back to Weight Watchers. I've been at goal before, the first time over 25 years ago. But as with many people, life got in the way. I had so many traumatic things happen. My daughter unexpectedly went deaf in 1 year at age 7. My husband almost died from a heart issue at the age of 43. My same daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis in middle school. I let my codependent tendencies take over. I was trying to fix everyone and make everyone happy, and I gave so much love and energy away that I never had anything left for myself. After years of being off and on again Weight Watcher and not being back for at least a few years, I crawled back to a meeting, and my amazing leader gave me a hug and said, 'It is so great to see you.' Like it was yesterday. I wanted to cry that someone was so kind and loving to me. I lost almost 20 pounds in early 2015, and I was feeling pretty good when life happened again. This time it was my daughter getting diagnosed with anorexia at age 16. When my daughter was first diagnosed, I had to temporarily give up going to WW meetings and actively working the WW plan because I had to help my daughter get better. Per her therapist at the eating disorder clinic, I had to eat real food, calorie-laden food, in front of and with her to show her that food is not the enemy. It was the hardest time in my life. Here I was for the first time in years trying to get back on Weight Watchers and take care of myself when I had to once again put myself and my needs on the back burner so I could help my daughter. It was also one of the most rewarding times because I learned that I can be a good parent, but I don't have to fix it for her. She has had the power all along. She just needed me to be a good role model. My sister, meanwhile, had joined WW and hit Lifetime. I remember kayaking with her in the middle of the lake, so we stopped and I just started bawling that I was so miserable and I just needed to change something, that I couldn't go on like this anymore. Perhaps it was rock bottom. Shortly after that, I heard the voice of a substitute WW leader say, "If you don't take care of you, who will?" So at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I finally went all in. I can't say exactly what it was, but that switch finally came to me. Over the course of that year, I lost 30 pounds. I also went on a wonderful spiritual retreat through my church that gave me such renewed hope in myself and in the power of love and forgiveness. I certainly had ups and downs, gains and losses, but it's different now. I'm finding myself again. When I was mentally struggling last year, I found the WhysAdvice podcast and I continue to use it as a tool in my toolbox. In February 2018, I finally hit a major milestone of losing 50 pounds. Yay me. Along the way, I am learning to be a healthier me. I've come to love who I am. I've come to forgive myself for the mistakes I made in the past, and I know that while I'm not perfect, I'm a work in progress. I know I will fall down, but I have the power to get back up again. I have learned that this journey isn't all about the food. Even though I use food as comfort and as an unhealthy coping mechanism to soothe the pain and the hurting in my heart. The journey isn't about my daughter or anyone else. Though dealing with an anorexic teenager while struggling to lose weight did play a part of my journey, it's hard for me. I want to celebrate that I've lost over 50 pounds, but when I'm around her, I have to be very careful of what I say and how I act about my changed behaviors. The journey is about me and finding myself of who I am. I have learned that all I can do is take care of me, be the best version of me that I can, and be kind to others because I don't know their story. As for my daughter, she is now seeing her mom as a healthy role model. Things may not be perfect. More hard things may come our way, but more good things may come my way too. Either way, I know who I am, and I'm enough to know that I can handle it without food. I am worth it. I will hit goal. I don't know when or how long it will take. I'm approximately 20 pounds away on the scale, and I know by your definition, I'm already at goal. But the most important thing for me is that I'm aware enough to know that I'm enjoying the journey right here, right now. The scale will get here eventually. When I was in the thick of my daughter's anorexia struggle, I felt so alone and so ashamed to talk about it. Anorexia and other eating disorders are mental illnesses, and it's not talked about because of the shame attached to it. It's especially not talked about in WW or on Connect, but it affects so many people. So who knows? Maybe there's someone like me struggling and they can't hear my story and know that they can hear my story and know that it is possible to move forward. Life's traumas can come at you, but you can be strong. You can get beyond them without letting them define you. It is possible to heal old wounds. It's possible to find yourself and love yourself because we are worth it always. A big non-scale victory was that in May of 2018, I was asked to become a WW Wellness Guide. What an honor to be asked and be thought of by others that I have something to offer. It reinforces my why of wanting to be a good role model. Hashtag be the prize. Wow. What a cool, amazing email. And let's go all the way back to the beginning. The amount of life challenges and stresses that have come your way certainly are more than any single person should have to endure. You have found a way to successfully manage all of it. That's the piece I want to share with you and I want to leave with you. It goes into the 5 questions that I ask, when I say, the 5 questions as to how to develop your why. And one of the things I always ask is, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your life? You have a list of that. It would be challenging for you to pick just one. And I'm not laughing in that regard. I'm laughing at that think of how awesome it is that all the challenges that you've been dealt, you have found a way to find success. Incredibly inspiring, incredibly powerful. And so you have the most intense, amazing ability to find the strength that you need to find success. And you did that. Through all of it, through your husband's ordeal, through your daughter's ordeal, through an anorexia diagnosis, you found a way to continue to put yourself first, focus on you, get to what I'm going to call goal, mentally be at the right place where you now are an amazing role model for your entire family. Congratulations on your 50-pound loss. But you said it exactly right. You are at goal mentally. You're eating better. You're making the right healthy choices. That is what the family needs to recognize. Now when it comes to and certainly I'm not a doctor in that regard, but what the things that I would advise you or would say is that when we start talking about eating disorders, there is an ability to eat healthier and better. And so we don't have to say this is, label food as good or bad, but we certainly know the difference between some of the choices that are nutritious and some of the choices that aren't as nutritious. So as you're making the better choices, the weight will naturally start falling off. I watched a video the other night. Hopefully you've seen it, but if you haven't, a movie called Fed Up. I was encouraged by a couple people to watch it. I ended up watching it last night, and someone said very clearly, if you are cooking all of your own food, you don't have to track any of it. If you're making everything from scratch and doing it in your own house, and that's eating healthy, then you really aren't tied to how many calories, how many points, all that good stuff, because the amount of healthy food that you can make, if you put the time into it, is really what we're all after. I get there's some time constraints and all that good stuff, but it was fascinating to hear that if we choose to live healthy and eat healthy, then very rarely is that going to put us in a point where we're having unhealthy behaviors that are tied to it. So anyway, keep up the amazing work. Go ahead and celebrate for sure. But what I want you to celebrate is not so much the number on the scale. I'm very proud of you for that. I'm very proud of your 50-pound weight loss. I'm proud that you're 20 pounds away from where you consider goal by the scale definition. But I'm more proud of that you have determined that you have now completely changed your life. You have put you first. You have to put you first in this journey. And so many of us as caregivers and so many of us as busy as we are in life, we can't allow us to get the leftovers of life. We have to take our meal out of life first. We have to get what we need. And then the rest of our family and our friends benefit because we are operating at the best version of us that's possible. Very, very, very cool. So again, thank you for your amazing email. Congratulations on all of your success. Give a huge hug and a shout out to your entire family for being there with you along the way. Congrats to all of you for getting it done. Very, very, very inspiring. Next email comes in out of Pioneer Village. Donna writes, and I believe she's joining us live on Facebook as well. Donna says, hey, the following discussion is one I had with myself trying to determine my real why. If there's any insights and ideas you can offer, it would be greatly appreciated. Here are my numbers. My highest weight, 448 pounds. Current weight, 277.2. Here is my why. After listening to the FatDag podcast, I came to understand a little better how important having a why is. A question that I need to answer is, why did I come to that first WW meeting? Well, okay, because my doctor strongly suggested it, but it made me consider coming. But what actually got me in the door was the high cost of my diabetes medication. I'm retired and I need to keep a close watch on my expenses. One of the medications was costing me $850 each 90 days. So I made my initial why to get off of this medication. I did that. After losing a big chunk of weight, the doctor took me off that expensive medication. Funny, strange thing happened, though, that it was all very unexpected. All of a sudden, I lost my motivation and my determination. This really shows how important our why actually is. A couple of slip-ups later, and I found that I even started fighting against all those good habits that I had formed. Now, I've spent a whole summer going back and forth with the same 10 pounds, and I seem to spend more time figuring out how to get away from a cheat than I do learning good habits. I'm tired of all this self-sabotaging rut that I've fallen into. I need to find a new why that will support my desire to become a permanent resident of Wonderland. That's about 80 pounds away from my current weight. I need a new why to get this done, and I want my new why to be one that will stand the test of time. In other words, it needs to support my journey even beyond the weight loss phase. I'm writing this to come up with ideas. I have one on my mind that I want to capture first. Here's a little background. My dad died almost 7 years ago, and I had to travel to his funeral, which was about an 8-hour drive away. At the time, I weighed in 448 pounds. Of course, it was the hardest trip of my life. The emotional stress was huge. My heart was broken. The physical stress was even worse. As I drove back home, I decided that would be my last trip ever. So far, I've lived up to that decision, and I've not traveled. To tell the truth, I don't have the physical or mental strength right now to even try. Well, I'm wondering if a possible why is to feel physically strong enough, healthy enough, and emotionally strong enough to travel again. That doesn't mean I have to travel, but that I could if I wanted to. I think this is a why that would stand up to the test of time. Even if I do travel once, I can still work at staying healthy and strong enough to do it again. I have to admit, this one scares me though. Sometimes it scares me a lot. FatDag says to use these to figure out our why. So here goes. Number one, what are you expecting to get out of this journey? I'm expecting to learn and to live in a more healthy manner than I used to. I want to make better decisions each day on items that affect my health. This includes food, movement, thought processes, associations, and even sleep. Question 2, do you believe you can do it? I want to do this. My experience has taught me that I am able to make good changes, but often give up on them over time. These need to be the beginning of a permanent change that I can keep on doing or improving on forever. Question 3 is what's in your way? My own thinking is the primary thing that's in my way. Human imperfection is the secondary thing that is in my way. Number 4, what's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life? Will this be easier or harder than that? The hardest thing is twofold. Recovering from a rape at age 13 is something that I'm still working on. It's under control most of the time, but then out of nowhere, it will overwhelm me again. The other experience that I found to be hard, and the one that I usually share publicly, is that my dad's death and the funeral. I won't fully recover from this one until he returns in the resurrection. I will hang on to this wonderful hope until it happens. Getting healthy will likely be easier than either of those. However, dealing with the overwhelming effects from rape often makes me think I do not deserve anything good. I know it's not true, but it's my natural reaction when I get overwhelmed with these memories. When I feel that way, it's self-sabotaging. It all starts. Question 5, who was responsible for your success? I am the only one responsible for my success. After reviewing these questions, another why seems to be peeking its head from the harder side of my life. Self-esteem may be my ultimate why. I know deep in my heart that I'm a good and valuable person. I demonstrate that quite often in the way that I help others. Often, though, when I get overwhelmed, my mind is convinced I'm not really worth the air I consume each day. That's one crazy contradiction, but it's real. So my why could be to convince my brain of what my heart has known all along. Looks like I have 2 possible whys. Pondering needs to commence. Donna and Donna Reed, 1, 2, 3 on Connect. Donna, thank you for sharing your incredible journey and story with us. And I always love when I read these emails and I look up from the computer and I see the comments on Facebook of how inspiring you are, and everyone's saying she's so inspiring and what an amazing person you are. So I agree with all that. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, and that you have found a way to find complete success. And you didn't exactly spell it out, but I want to do it for you. Starting weight 448, current weight 272. That's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. Don't even for a second discount the amount of effort, work, focus, determination that took to get to where you currently are. Your why powered you through. You got yourself off of the medication. The doctor doesn't take you off medication. You take yourself off medication, the doctor just quits writing the prescription for it. The doctor looks at you and says, you no longer need it. Doctors don't take patients off medication if they are needed. And the only way that happened is that you completely changed your life. Congratulations on that. I want you to just let that part sink in. And the reason I want that to sink in is because you said it in your own email. You are an amazing person. There's no question about it. And so you're physically strong enough, you're emotionally strong enough, you have all of the right tools in your toolbox to completely set yourself up for whatever success you want to have in your life. You've proven that. There is nothing else that you need to do now to prove it again to yourself. What you need to do now is just continue on the journey that you set forward. Allow the original why that you had to continue to power you a little bit. I get the notion of when we have a why, and then all of a sudden we want to take ourselves off medication, and we do that. Certainly, it feels like, okay, I'm done. But now your why in that sense changes to, I no longer want to go back on that medication, right? Allow your why to transform there, because I promise you is just as quickly as you took yourself off the medication, you can very easily put yourself back on it. So that's number one why is that you want to continue to maintain your health so that part never comes true. Then you work on the rest of it. So let's absolutely celebrate that. When it comes to the amazing hard things you've had to do in your life, my heart breaks for you that at such a young age that you've been having to deal with this and carry this for so long. And so the only thing I can offer you is just a big old, I'm sorry. And what I want you to know is that for as long as you've been carrying this and for the shouldering and carrying the burden of that combined with the loss of your father, and you have proven through both of those very challenging scenarios that you're a fighter. You have proven that you're a survivor. You have proven that you can do difficult things and you can make it through. So that's what I want you to celebrate. That's what I want you to focus on. I want you to get to the point where you say, you know what? I can do anything. I believe you're there. I believe I read it in your email. I believe as I was reading this, I could see and sense that you felt like you're turning a page and bringing on this whole new person, and you digging into your why certainly helps you get there. Now, here's what I want. I love when you read out the 5 questions, I asked these 5 questions to folks as they're trying to figure out their why. The answer you wrote to number 1, I think is very close to what I'm going to call textbook, right? You didn't mention a thing in your expectations about the scale. I'm very happy with that. Now, we know the scale is the measure of success. The scale, or is a measure of success, not the measure. The scale is one way to measure. And the reason the scale comes up as a measurement is because that's the quickest, easiest thing we can see. We can see a 1 to 2 pound weight loss per day. We can see a 1 to 2 pound weight loss per week. We can see the effects changing. We don't necessarily notice all the other changes until they show up. So by you saying your expectation of the journey is that you're expecting to learn and live in a more healthy manner than you used to. You want to make better decisions each day on items that affect your health, including food, movement, your thought processes, and even your sleep. Those things you can measure as well. I want you to explore them. I want you to dig a little deeper. What does improve my sleep mean? What does improve my movement mean? What does improve thought process mean? Think about for a second, if I simply say I want to improve my sleep, if we don't have a benchmark, if we don't have a measurement, then simply one good night is an improvement. So here's where we go. You get to the point where you say, okay, what I want to do is I want to get 6 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 7 days a week, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, on weeknights, on weekends. Define what that means. Define what making better decisions mean in all areas of your health, including movement. If you're currently getting 1,000 steps a day, I want you to say, okay, I want to get 1,000 steps a day 10 days in a row, 12 days in a row, 15 days in a row. I want to get 10,000 steps a day, 2 days in a row, 5 days in a row. What I want you to do is put a measurement on it so you can actually see the progress. You can check it off as you're doing it. But what I'm very, very, very pleased to see is nowhere in your expectation is a number on the scale. The scale will take care of itself. The scale will continue to move the direction that you're pushing it in because you are getting more movement. You're being more mindful. You're getting the right sleep. You're making the decisions that impact you. In order to get them so they're continuing to move in the right direction, I just want you to track them just a little bit differently. So congratulations on that one. Here's where folks, when I ask you to write down your why, here's the reason I want you to do it. That is a perfect answer. I want you to dig deeper in that. But what I want everyone to do is read it daily. Read it weekly. Set a reminder in your phone to reread your why every Monday morning, every Tuesday morning, whatever day of the week you want to do. Because what happens is we start this journey for a reason. The reason doesn't go away until we completely solve it. So if you start the journey for a reason, we often, in the middle of that journey, we forget why we did this. If you reread your why often, let it then continue to remind you every morning you wake up and reading it. So last but not least, you are the one responsible for your success. And the cool thing is that you're a fighter, you're a champion, you're a winner. And so if I had to put someone in charge of success, I would want someone just like you to be in charge of it. I would want you to be in charge of your success, because what I read through all of this is that you have all the right qualifications to be successful. What's going to happen as you start having more and more and more success? That self-esteem that you're looking for is certainly going to come forward, because you're going to start recognizing the hard things that you're able to continue to do, and that is where the true celebrations come from. Donna, thank you so much for being an amazing fighter, an amazing strong person, for sharing your your brave story with the rest of us, so that other people can look at you and say, yeah, that happened to me too, and I didn't quite know that I could survive it. I didn't quite know that I could rebound from that, and I didn't know that from there I could continue to change my life for the better. Donna, you've proven that. So thank you so much for writing in and sharing it. Out of Bakersfield, California, Susan writes in next. She says, Happy New Year, FatDag. Hey, let's make this the best year ever. I'm going to concentrate on what I'm thankful for in 2019. The fact that I'm still at goal and lifetime. I know I'll always be lifetime, but I'm still at goal. I couldn't beat myself up for not making it to my personal goal weight, but you know what? I'm celebrating the fact that after 2 years, I realize is just a number. I'm going to focus on the fact that I'm feeling great. I love shopping for clothes now. I don't even hate having my picture taken. 2 years at maintaining goal is a real accomplishment, and I'm going to embrace it in 2019. I will continue to learn from my journey. I have a lot to look forward to in 2019. Two new replacements, the birth of my first grandchild after losing the first 3. It's been a rough 2 years, and if I can maintain goal, I can get through anything. I'm excited and nervous about my knee replacements, but excited to think about all the things that I want to do and be pain-free. Cheers to the new year, and hope that it's a happy and a healthy new year to you all. Let's do this. Thank you, Mike, for all that you do for us and for serving our country, Susan. And then Susan adds a PS. Hope to walk pain-free in one of the 2019 FatDag Tour locations. And here's a quick update. Today marks a week with a bionic knee, lots of resting and PT in my future. Training very hard to recover enough to go be with my daughter when she has our first grandchild. I haven't caught a live show since before the surgery, but hopefully I can catch one soon. Thanks for the reply. What a way to cheer up a patient. Again, Susan. Susan, good to hear from you again. Folks, as you know, I went through the process of we have a show producer now. We actually have 2. Lisa and Heather co-produced the show. And so I asked them to go through my inbox, dig some of these emails out, and then reply to folks and kind of get an update. So that's why this one had an update. But Susan, so awesome to hear from you. It was a joy hanging out with you in San Francisco for 2018 tour. You are a rock star as well. It was so much fun to watch you, and knowing that a knee surgery was coming up for you, to watch you continue to hang with the group and be a very special part of our day was truly, truly inspiring. So awesome to hear from you. And I'm so glad that your surgery is going well and your resting and your physical therapy is going well. Keep up the amazing work there. Let's go to the beginning. Again, congratulations. 2 years at your personal goal weight, at goal in lifetime. Keep being inspiring. 2 years is that point where if you've maintained 2 years, you have completely changed your life. Now, Sure, we're going to have some issues where some all of our, it takes forever to really, really, really change our life. But in the 2 years' time, you have solidified some amazingly good habits that will be with you now for the rest of your life. Continue to be grateful and have gratitude for everything that you did in 2018, and so that 2019 does that as well. Congratulations on the pending birth of your grandchild. I think that's an exciting time too. What an amazing gift now. You have the opportunity to give yourself to your new grandchild. You can, having your knee replacement and being free and being at your goal weight, where now you're just in a whole different mindset. That child is going to grow up knowing that what health looks like. And so often that we don't have those models to kind of look up to, but you're now providing that back. So keep up the amazing work, and I'm glad to see you taking an inventory of all that you have going right. I'm happy to celebrate a happy and healthy new year with you, and it's just so much fun to see what 2019 brings. When it comes to the tour, I think Phoenix maybe. Phoenix or even Seattle are probably the two options, unless you hop on a plane and make it out here to Indianapolis in June. There's a lot of info going on around that. So that is the game plan. Definitely join us on the 2019 International Tour. I will get an email out to you shortly. But keep up the amazing work. Like I said, it was so much fun to hang out with you and your husband in San Francisco. We had an absolute blast. So glad that you wrote in. So glad that you're doing well. Keep up the amazing work, and let's continue to get it done. Folks, I mentioned quickly the 2019 International Tour. I talked about it. The Indianapolis stop we talked about last year, the Indy Ultimate, is the event. I'm going to push an email out tonight to the Indy folks as well that there is a special registration for those of you who have not yet registered for the Indy Ultimate. There is an 8:35 time slot that is reserved for the FatDag Tour. So if you have not already registered for Indianapolis, it'll be out there available now. You should get an email in the morning or tonight to remind you about that. If you've already registered, that's fine. Continue to stay where you're at. But certainly come be a part of the tour in Indianapolis. We're going to have a great, great, great time. If you get here a day early, you can join me for my military retirement. That'll be kind of fun as well. We will celebrate together and by all means get it done. So folks, thank you for being a part of the show. Thanks for being tuned in and absolutely rocking your life. Thanks for showing the folks what it looks like to celebrate your success. So often as we go through this life, there are so many times when we want to celebrate, but we almost aren't really exactly sure if we should. And what I want you to know is that you should celebrate every single step of the way. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast link, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I will work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in those celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want you to demonstrate what success looks like. I want you to demonstrate what challenges that you've made it through that have now proven to you that you can do anything. I want you to be the prize. I want the whole world to know just how awesome you are so we can get it done. On behalf of my producers, Heather and Lisa, well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember now that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. How fun was that? Oh boy, let me see one quick thing. Let's see here. I don't know if I want to try. I'm going to see if I can. A couple of you texted me in, so I'm going to make a phone call. Let's see here. If I remember how to do this. Do I have that? That's on that. Hopefully, I think we're good. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. If I dial this number, let's see if it works. So, see if that works. Oop, can you hear that? I think I can hear it.
Hello.
Hello, Corinne. It's Mike.
Wow.
How
Amazing. You actually are a real person.
I'm a real person and everything. Hey, before we dig too deep, you're live on Facebook, you're live
Oh,
on YouTube, and you're live on Twitter. So just
fantastic.
wanted to make sure that I think people can hear us. I'm waiting for them to say that they can, but I'm pretty sure everyone can hear us. So, whew, yeah,
Okay,
very good.
great.
So let's go. Tell me what made you text in and say, "Hey, Mike, call me."
You know, I have been on this journey for a long time, and I never thought I was going to get to lifetime. And honestly, when I got there, I thought, "Oh my gosh, my life is going to be awesome.
Right,
It's all going to get fixed."
right.
Well, guess what?
Not that easy, is it?
No, no, it really wasn't. And I think that was a huge turning point in thinking, I still got to work on this. I still got to work on me. I still got to work on just how I am going to keep living and keep being the healthy version of myself. I think that was the hardest part. So that worked out great. I kept going to workshops, meetings. Finally, after about 8 years, I had a leader because it was, a year and a half ago when they were still leaders,
Right,
said to me, "You know what? You are such an inspiration." Members come up to me and say, "Why is she not a leader?" So I said, "Okay, maybe it's time. Maybe I've figured things out enough that I can help. I can reach back, as you say,
right.
and help somebody else." So I did that. And now I host workshops. Let's call it like that.
Let's call it
Feel
like it
like
is, right?
sometimes they're like a party, and I invite everybody to the party, and sometimes they show up, and we have this really awesome um, discussion. The problem is when I am in the workshop and I am facilitating, I feel like everything I am saying, I should be hearing myself and doing for myself, and I can't.
Right.
I can't switch.
So you're in that so I'm there too, right? So this is kind of fun,
Yes.
fun conversation, right? Like, hey, I know all the do, and I can tell you, hey, just do this, just do this, just do this.
Yes.
One of the posts I put out the other day that I thought was kind of summarize my journey is during my weight loss phase. For me, it happened relatively quickly. I was focused, I was dialed in,
Right.
but nothing significant in my life happened. I just had a normal period in my life, and so I mean, my life is now
Right.
46 years in the making. For that 6 month period, life was beautiful. No family emergencies, no
Right.
issues, and so it became very easy for me to just put everything aside and do the things that mattered in that moment. Then once I got the lifetime and got to goal, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Uh, Things started changing in my life, and things
Hmm.
that hadn't happened before in my life started peeking their head up, and it made me go, okay, now I have to readjust. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how to adjust in some of it, with the
Hmm.
exception of I know what it feels like to be at goal and to be happy, and I'm like, okay, I want to preserve that. And so what you said was absolutely beautiful. Is that we think that, okay, I get the lifetime and it's over and
Hmm.
it's fixed, and
Yeah.
not exactly so, right?
Right.
So
And you can appreciate that moment. Oh my gosh. I put together a picture board of that then and now. I was rocking it. And I don't know how to recapture that fire, that enthusiasm that I offer everybody else.
right.
Why can't I flip it and make that fire start?
So have you gone through? Have you written out your well, the 5 questions that I've written down, or have you redeveloped your why, or where are you at in
I,
that?
I think that was one of the things that I've kind of captured this week is because I've been doing a lot of the getting to know you sessions with new members.
Right.
And I am with you on the passion of the why. And I can, like I said, I can communicate that and I can encourage people to get them to that stage of understanding why are they on this journey and what are their expectations? What do they want to get out of it? And I think it was today that I thought, okay, it's my turn to sit down and say, what is your why? Because the why does change. And in some ways it's the same, but in some ways it has to be um, redefined.
Right, and I think that's it's along the lines of, and not in a disrespectful way at all, but when you see a doctor who tells you to lose weight, or you see a nurse who tells you to lose weight, and you look at both of them and they're a little bit overweight,
Yes.
part of you goes, Doc, if it's so critical, then why aren't you doing it? And not in a
Right.
judgmental way, but but
No.
but but those of us in a caregiver role, and I'm going to put WW coaches in a caregiver role at this point.
Hmm.
We do know we are in this role because we were given the tools, we proved that they worked.
Hmm.
Then, as we now readjust our life to disposing the medicine, at the same
Hmm.
point, same time as taking the medication, it goes back to kind of the email we just talked about on the show. Is that
Hmm.
we don't put ourselves first. I don't know how
Right.
many meetings you do a week, but so I do two a week, and
Hmm.
my typical week, I have at best 4 to 5 hours a week with my family. Between
Right.
between working all day, two meetings a week, I have a Wednesday night and a Friday night, and of course my daughter takes off on Friday night to go do something with her friends. So I see her for about 3 to 4 hours a week. So the time that I see her, if she says, "Hey, let's go here for dinner," I'm not gonna
I
say
do it.
I'm not gonna say
I do it.
no, right?
That's right. I do it.
And so, but what happens now is that as I get to the point where I go, okay, wait a minute, Mike, chill out, calm down. You have figured out that you got this. You're still enjoying a very healthy life. I'm on no medication. I'm still
Right.
inspiring others to do the right thing. And so now the things that I'm working on is how do I sustain this amidst a life of so many other things going on, and it now becomes those slow tweaks that are permanent and lifestyle changing. And I don't know if in your world, but I can look back at any single day and go, I made some really good choices today. There may be one or two that doesn't, and that one or two may show up on the scale more than the rest. But there are things today that I did that I would never have done 2 or 3 years ago, and you can't measure those things. And so internally, I know the reality. The reality
Hmm.
is I'm very happy where I'm at. And so I find, and I want you to do the same thing, I want you to find the things that you know you're doing absolutely right and celebrate those.
Okay.
Can you think of one? To give me one right now?
Well, it's so interesting that you should say that because I did 6 meetings this week. And
Incredible.
every meeting I started with, I just want to talk about your non scale victories. I don't want you to chase the scale. I want you to allow your changes to you want those changes. Don't worry about chasing the scale. But the reality was I was talking to myself in every one of those, saying, what non-scale victories are you doing today?
Right.
And I agree with you. Those are so much more important than the number,
Yeah.
and that doesn't define who you are. So I agree with you
That.
completely.
Yep. So what I in your case specifically is that, and this is where we had to take those non-scale victories, and we have to document them, because what happens to me and to all of us is that when your non-scale victory becomes part of your daily routine, you forget that it was a victory. And you don't really
Yeah,
realize it. And so at first, when we say, "Hey, I no longer need a seatbelt extender," or I no longer
right.
fear, the patio, the white patio chairs on the deck, um,
Tying your shoes, leaning over. I mean, that was one of the things that motivated me to start on WW was I just couldn't do some of the things that I should be able to do.
right.
So, yeah, I have to maybe that's a great bit of advice is getting back to just saying yay me when I know I'm doing something that is so much better for me.
Yep. And the more you recognize them, like I said, they now become things that you're preserving. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
this thing that I could never do a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever the scenario is, I couldn't do that before. Now I do it every single day. The newness has worn off, but you need to not forget about it. And so that's
Yeah.
where you just take every day and go write it down. Go, you know what? I tied my shoe this morning. I know it sounds silly to the rest of the world, but damn it, I'm proud of it, because a couple
Yes.
years ago wasn't an option.
Right.
When they made
Right.
Velcro shoes, I was the first one in line. you know, uh,
Yeah.
funny.
Agreed. Agreed. So, you know what? Some of the things that you say, I just want to say to kind of wrap this up is so many of the things that you say resonate with me. And I do really appreciate your your inspiration and your motivation that you offer to all of us, no matter where we are on our journey of change.
Yep.
So, I thank you for doing that.
It's it's this is the hardest part of this journey, and I think we all go through it. Is that you've heard my story. My life was
Hmm.
completely ruined if I didn't take control, and it was
Right.
it was just a devastating part of my life. And I'm thankful that I was able to hit rock bottom and survive.
Right.
And so when I finally started making improvements, here I was thinking I was thinking that for the rest of my life I'm going to be overweight and just be completely out of health and whatever the scenario was, unemployed, all that good stuff. And then
Right.
as I, just a regular old person, with too many jobs and too much family activity
Too
going
much
on,
craziness.
right? Too much crazy. This regular person, I watched other people who were having crazy lives find success, and I went, okay, wait a minute. That person, again, no disrespect, that person's not special in that regard.
Yes.
They just finally decided they were going to do it. So if that person, with all of their crazy, was able to also put themselves first to make it happen, okay, let me try. And then when I proved to myself that I could do it, I'm like, okay, listen, Mike, you're not anything special either. So
Hmm.
there's nothing special about you. But what happened to me, which happens I think to almost everyone who gets to goal, is when we finally get there, we realize that we're not special. We just finally did it. And we want to
Hmm.
reach back and we want to grab every single person we can and say, come with me. This is
Hmm.
doable. Trust me, I didn't do any, I didn't, no magic, no secret pills,
Right.
no potions. I just did it. And that means you can do it too, which is why I say, I believe in you to every
Hmm.
single person. So when we get there, it's so exciting that we're like, okay, I want everyone to join me. And so that's what kind of brings me to do this show, is that I want every single person to know this is doable. I believe
It
it's
is.
doable. You now believe it's doable. We all know it's doable. So now we go, okay, folks. Um, now, now there are things in life. This is again the importance of this show. Is there are things in life that have happened to other people that have not happened to me. So therefore, that's why their inspiration is there, because now someone else goes, okay, if that person did that, I can make it through as well. So it's just an incredible story. So give us, before we wrap up, give us the details that you want to share about your entire journey. Where did you start? Where are you at? What do you want to
I
share?
you know what? I just overall, I grew up with a mom who was on Weight Watchers and every other diet. She and I shared that journey together, never knowing that she ever made a goal or was successful. And that maybe was kind of my difficult part about food, was that I grew up with somebody who was always watching but never had success.
Right.
And I think that was a difficult part. And you know what? Frankly, like many other people, food became a friend, not a fuel, that was kind of always there because I was the kid that wasn't really super popular or athletic, or I was just smart. And that was great, but it just wasn't the answer. So, in the end, I never look back at any of my pictures and think I wasn't happy. I was always happy.
Right.
So I just wasn't the best version of me. And as I started to have kids, I realized that I didn't want them to grow up the same way I did. I
Right.
had a great family, I had a great mom. There was no question about that. But I didn't want them to not be able to manage food or use it in a way that wasn't for its own purpose, to fuel. So I think in the end, that's what I have to remember that I've done, because my two girls, they can eat food, they can push it away, they can indulge, but they can also get right back on track. So I think maybe that's what I have to celebrate, is that's the gift I
Yeah.
gave them.
Absolutely did. And then
So
that's a gift that gives generationally. And so
right, right. And they don't have that issue. I mean, I lost 53 pounds. If I'd have walked in the door and somebody would have said that to me, I'd have said, there's absolutely no way I'm walking back out.
right.
It wasn't my first time through the door. It was probably my 14th or 15th time through the door. But this time I said, is my last time. That I think that was what I just kept thinking, is I'm never going to start this journey over again.
Right. And
And
that,
I think,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think that's where you go. That rock bottom, or that we
Yeah,
draw this. I'm done. I'm finally. I'm so angry. I'm
so
so
done.
ready. you know,
Yes.
I look at people, you know, as you do when they come do my getting to know you session, when they join for the very first
Yeah.
time or rejoin, whatever their scenario is.
Right.
I ask two questions. First, I say is is this your first time ever with Weight Watchers, or have you tried it before? And
Right.
when they say, "Well, I've done it before," you can hear the defeat in their voice when they say it. And I
Hmm.
stop them right there in their tracks and I go, "Wait a minute, I'm very happy that you're back." And they
Yes.
say, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Listen, you wouldn't give me $45 a month or whatever the money, you wouldn't
Hmm.
pay for something that you didn't believe worked. If you tried it and it didn't work, you wouldn't give me more money to keep trying it." So you
Right.
start with a very distinct advantage that you know the program works enough that you're willing to pay for it. That's number one. And then I say, "Now, why are you here?" And I
Yes.
say, "You weren't walking down the street and you popped in accidentally. You know exactly what happens in this room. The sign on our door still says Weight Watchers. You know exactly what that means, and you still came through the door intentionally. Why are you
You know
here?"
what? And I think, I had a member this week who said to me, I pulled in this parking lot every day this week
Yeah.
and I just couldn't get through the door.
Yep.
But she said, I came today and it was a meeting that I was subbing for somebody else. And I said, I am so fortunate that I get to be here with you on the start of this journey. I said, thank you for offering that to me. And she looked at me and she was like, what do you mean? And I said,
Were you crazy? Yeah.
yeah, she thought it was crazy. But for me, I was just like, I am so honored that I got to be here for you and that you're going to allow me to share this moment with you. And I said, I'm just so happy you're here. And she was like, okay, okay, what happens next? Because this
Right.
is getting really, this is getting weird.
Are we supposed to
And I'm
group
like,
hug or what's going
yes,
on? Right.
exactly. She was like, is this where we hug? Literally, she was like, do I hug you now? And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm just really happy because I know that feeling when you pull in the parking lot, you look at the door and you say, I can't do it today.
Yeah.
Look, the line is long. Oh, they're going to close.
Right.
And I said, go you for knowing that today was your day. And that she said to me, I can't live this way anymore. I was like, yes.
Yep.
And you're right. It does come to that point where you're like, it's, it's over. I have to make a change. I have to do something different. And this is something that's worked in the past. So this is my different.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so
Very fun.
that's it. That's it. So I really appreciate you calling me tonight. You know, uh, Marsha will tell you that I drove to Parma to see her at her workshop.
Oh, fun.
She is just an amazing inspiration. So
Yep.
I just texted her today and said, Marsha, I need to connect. When are we getting together? Because I need you to tell me that I can do this again. And she was like, okay,
Okay.
let's meet in April.
So
I was
that
like,
that's
okay.
so that's the thing, that those of us again when we're at goal and we're in that 6 months of maintenance and then
Yeah.
shortly at lifetime, that is the most energetic we are in this journey because
Oh, yes.
we're I mean I love those people to death when they're in that 5 to 6 week window because they are so powerful and so motivational. That you're right. Those are that would be my advice: is find someone who just hit lifetime and partner with them
Yes.
for those 6 weeks because they will carry you wherever you need to
Oh,
go.
they have such an energy and a fire about them that you're like, ooh, could I just stand in your midst?
Right.
So I might get some of that power. Whatever's going on, I just want a little piece of it right now.
That's
But
funny.
yeah. So like I said, I love listening to you when I walk. I think I listen to you. I will tell you this: I listen to you on my way to the workshops I work
Oh, fun.
because I love the 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 energy that you give me and the inspiration. So thank you for that.
You bet. And like I said, my goal is to, the tagline I joke with is I do the show every single day except for the days I don't. And of
Yeah.
course the frequency has certainly died down from the beginning, but my life has ramped up. And so my goal is to truly, I say this publicly, my goal is to do this every single day because I need to be motivated every day.
Yes.
It's someone, and I love WW, of course we all do, but once a
Hmm.
week doesn't work for me. Once a week is
Yes.
not enough inspiration. I can leave my workshop on fire, and luckily I do 2 a week. But I could imagine doing more. But that gives me, okay, on Tuesday nights I'm rocking, Thursday nights I'm rocking. Okay, now let me get through the weekend and Tuesday. But man, if I could have a meeting every single day, and
It
attend.
would be amazing.
Right. So that's kind of the game plan, and
Yes.
we'll get there.
Good.
But
You get there. Well, congratulations on your retirement. Congratulations on your meeting goal and living the life. Continue on this journey
awesome. You do
and
this. You do the
inspiring
same.
us.
You do the
Thank
same.
you.
And thanks for texting in. And we'll see you online. I presume, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm honored that you called me and that you took the time to connect. So
You bet.
have a great evening.
You too. All right. We'll see you.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Folks, that's it. That's how we do this. So I just wanted to kind of wrap up and say, if you join the live show, what we'll do is at the beginning of each live show, text in, and I will make one phone call to kind of end the show and wrap it up. So thank you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording over here now. Let me do that. I think I got it, and then we'll back to the Facebook side. So very, very, very fun. Let's see. What do you think? Woo! Exciting stuff, right? And Jane says, hello, we would love that. So, very fun. Lee says, what's her connect name? I don't know. I didn't ask. But we'll find out. So she's in the Facebook group. She was, because I'm only going to call folks who were in the show. So she was there. So, woo. So, but Corinne. So anyway, yeah, Jane says that was fun. So very, very, very cool. Tomorrow is Mondag. Woo. My first day of the week. It's my favorite day of the week, totally, because it's the one day a week where I get to really, truly focus on all of this stuff that we're doing. So very, very fun. I'll find a way to splice that audio, put it into the actual episode as it gets released. So we'll see how I do on the technical side of things. But fun. So that's the game plan. The next live show, if you want to be a part of the show, certainly text in and we'll do the same thing. I think that's kind of a neat plan going forward. What do you think? You agree with that? If you agree with that, let me know. Outside of that, let's see what else is going on. Anne says, thanks, Mike. Great show. Tamberly says, awesome tonight. Thank you. Alice says, great show tonight. Loved it and really needed it. I know. I tell you, I said it when I was talking to Corinne. It's my number one pain in this journey is I want to do this every single night. I do. I don't know how I'm going to, but that is in my head. The nights that I don't do a show, it pains me because I'm like, I want to do this. 1 for me, 2 for you, and 3 for the entire community. That's kind of the game plan going forward. So we will see how to make that happen. So, whew. Anyway, so all right. On that note, unless you guys got anything else for me, Debbie says call me. Debbie, tomorrow maybe, or the next time we do a show, that'll be the game plan. But now it's now 11 o'clock. I got to get the show edited and put it out to the air so those can hear it. So that'll take me another 20, 30, 40 minutes or so. So I can't call everyone every night. I'd love to. So now you'd have to come back tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. So Karen D says, great show. Love the call. Thank you. Dinner, Lee's off to eat dinner. Yay. So awesome. All right, on that note, those of you who have stepped up on patreon.com to be a patron, that's you guys right here. Thank you, each and every one of you. You're making this show completely possible, and I appreciate every little thing that you do. If you're curious how to get your name on this list, fatdag.com, click on the Become a Patron link. For as little as a single $1 per month, you can be a part of the show in that sense. You can go all the way up to $1 gazillion a month if you want. You have that ability, but $1 a month, that's easy. It gives me kind of some opportunity to have a budget and to work in a framework to work from. So awesome. Thanks to all the patrons for being a part of the show. Debbie, I see you. I got you. I will get you in. This is why the producers now are taking care of this stuff, is so they will work it into the show. I think your email's in the queue for sure, Debbie, and I will certainly tomorrow night or the next time we do a show, I will do the same thing. Say text in, and we'll talk. So very, very, very fun. So on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this up and say good night. New York City, can't wait to see you coming right up. And after that is the plan is Phoenix. So stick around. So again, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for being on. Tamberly says, how do you become a top fan? I have no idea, Tamberly, honestly. That's not something I control. That's a Facebook feature. I think Facebook judges by how interactive you are with the FatDag Facebook page. The more you interact with the FatDag Facebook page, it generates you as a top fan. It's not something I can control or not. So I don't know how I don't know how it's there. But you can be a super duper top fan by putting your name on this list. I think this list is way more important than the top fan list. So very, very, very fun. Awesome. All right. On that note, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. Have a great night. You guys know the deal, right? This has nothing to do with focus. This has everything, nothing to do with luck. Everything to do with you being determined and focused. So I don't wish you good luck. I wish you good focus. Good night.